Okay, John chapter 16, verse 1. I've said all these things to you to keep you from falling away. Okay, so he starts off with saying, he's given a number of reasons why he told them all these things. Now he is giving another reason, so to keep them from falling away. Well, this raises a few serious questions in a sense, things that Arminian systematic theologians most likely will quote him saying, "I see you can fall away." Okay, but that's the whole point Jesus is making. Say, I told you this thing. If he didn't tell him these things, then there's a possibility. But since he did tell him these things, they wouldn't fall away. But anyhow, as well, you need to understand. So, okay, he's speaking to his disciples now, and the falling away. Remember the situation that they're going into be very soon. They're going to go to the Garden of Gethsemane, where they're going to see Jesus being captured, taken captive, right? Then they're all going to be scattered, and Jesus is going to be crucified, and the leader, kind of Peter, going to deny Jesus, right? One of them is going to betray Jesus. So all of this is going to happen. So easily they could just after. If Jesus didn't tell all these things, and they could have just given up and disappeared into the night because it's too dangerous for them. Right? All of this is too dangerous for them, and they don't understand, and they don't know why, and they would not understood what is happening, right? And because of all of that, there's this kind of as well falling away that could have happened. But Jesus is warning them now what is lying ahead, so that when what is lying ahead comes, they would see, well, okay, now again, they're not going to understand it. It's going to take them time to understand this, but after a while, they are going to understand it. Then they will be able to put two and two together, and they'll see how Jesus actually did warn them and got them to a place where they would be able to understand, even though only later on. Okay, so therefore, firstly, there is this kind of falling away. There's this preparation, a very important preparation for what's lying ahead. When you build a house, you start with the foundation, right? And it can take forever to build that foundation, but the rest kinds of, if you have a good foundation, comes up very fast. I remember always seeing houses when they build, it's like, man, they've been busy so long and they're just still busy with the foundation. But then when that foundation is done, there goes the walls, and it's pretty fast, the rest, kind of. Then you get an understanding to the interior stuff, which takes some time as well. The final cleaning up of everything, or making beautifying of everything inside the house. And so there's this as well, falling away, therefore, that Jesus is speaking about. Is he speaking about the falling away or their losing their faith or anything like that? I think Jesus has been pretty clear about this question already, right? Understandably as well, here in the next verse, he's going to give more explanation of what this falling away, or why is there a danger of them falling away. Verse 2. They will put you out of the synagogues. Indeed, the hour is coming when whoever kills you will think he's offering service to God. Okay, so they will put you out of synagogues. So this is the hatred. He spoke in the previous verse as well about hatred. They will hate you, right? So the fact that they will hate you, and all of that pressure and the persecution that's going to follow here, in this case, them being put out of synagogue, losing their Jewishness in that sense, right? That's a big thing. That's huge, right? So the Messiah is dead. Okay, they're going to be persecuted. They're going to be kicked out of the synagogues. For what? Right? For what? Okay, this is a little bit like what the reason is for the book of Hebrews, why it's written. Okay, it's like, so what's the whole point of it all? We believed in him, but he's gone. Okay, so why not just go back? Why not just go fall away and go back to the Jewish faith, be fishermen again, and go to the synagogue and believe in Moses, right? Forget about Jesus and believe in Moses. Okay, so this verse 2 then clarifies what Jesus said concerning in verse 1. Okay, and other things that they will also, yes, we see that's the putting out of the synagogues. Now, I know some people say that this proves that John was written at a late stage because this was only done at later on, right? That the Jews were put out of prison, but it's only done later on outside of Israel, right? But if it's inside of Israel, where it's already been practiced before it became a practice outside, then it need not have been written late. Okay, and we've seen, except if John is wrong, right, and lying or adding words, and we've seen how the parents of the blind man were afraid that they would be put out of prison, out of the synagogue, if they going to stand up for Jesus, basically, and that's just standing up for their son, who was healed by Jesus. Okay, so they already then saw that, or knew, and was already then in Jerusalem a practice that they can be put out of the synagogue. Yeah, so what Jesus is therefore saying here is that there is that's going to happen to them, not in the future, not it's already happening. Okay, so that does not imply therefore that the book was written at a late stage, because it's already a fact. Yeah, and actually, in a sense, what's worse here is that they're going to think that they are serving God, right? They're offering services to God. It's like, oh, we are serving God by putting you out of the synagogue. We are serving God by killing you, even killing you. Like they're going to, oh yeah, Jesus, they're going to kill you, not just put you in a synagogue. Kill you. No, I mean, in a sense, being put at a synagogue is losing your Jewishness, losing basically everything you are, and being an outcast in society might be even worse than death, especially depending on how you're going to look at it. Okay, like for a Buddhist, I would say like being kicked out of Thai society most likely going to be worse than death, because you're dying, you just kind of come back. But if you're out of society, you live here now outside society, and which is worse than dying and coming back and being inside society, kind of way. No, yeah, sure, they didn't believe in reincarnation, right? But anyhow, so these people, they think they're actually serving God. And through the ages, we've seen how people have thought that they're serving God by the Crusades, for example. So we're serving God, but not only. There were times when the church, the Roman Catholic Church, persecution of Protestants, thinking they're serving God by, chasing the Huguenots out of France, for example. Okay, so it's not a new thing, and it's an old thing, and it's still happening today. Lots of people, they claim to, in different faiths, claiming to serve.